Hey everyone, it's Megan, and I'm here with my friend Grogu to tell you about the library's upcoming Fandom Fest celebration. All throughout the month of March, Teen Services and Studio NPL will be posting content and hosting live programming related to all your favorite fandoms. Crafts, cosplay tutorials, virtual game nights, book discussions, author talks, comic tutorials, reviews, and more. We're so sad we can't hang out in person, but we want everyone to be safe and hope you'll join us online. The complete schedule is available on our website, library.nashville.gov/fandomfest. Sign up early to receive first dibs on free supply kits for crafts and contests related to Among Us, Animal Crossing, The Mandalorian, and Nailed It. And reserve your spot to catch up and game with Downtown Library teen staff, Nina, Frank, and myself. We'll also be doing weekly Instagram contests, so watch this space for a chance to win books, movies, and other goodies. See you soon!
Hello, this is Miss Shelly with the National Public Library Bordeaux branch, and I'm back again with Miss Shelly's Hoopla Pick, Fandom Edition. Alright, so I know that there's so many things in Fandom Fest this year, and I know there's a lot of things happening. So I just want to give a quick tidbit because I love all things Hoopla, because Hoopla has everything that you ever possibly could want. It's pretty much a walking library in your pocket with your television shows, movies, audiobooks, comic books, and music. Pretty much all in one place. I actually do love you can put an app on your phone, or you can just go to the website through your computer. So that's why I say it's like a walking, well, it's pretty much a library in your pocket if you put it on your phone. One of the cool things that I do love about it are the comic books. And so I'm actually going to show you how to read a comic on Hoopla. All right, so just take a look at the video. Let me know what you think. All right, so you can see that I'm on my Hoopla homepage. I'm able to take a look and see what I have borrowed. So I'm going to click on this adulthood comic, which is actually quite intriguing. Adulthood is a myth. So you can click on the comic, and then they also have where they have a magnifying glass where you're able to roll over certain parts of the comic and zoom in on certain parts, because you know comics have their small print in certain areas. It actually shows the full page of the comic there. And then you're able to just go page by page. You can scroll your magnifying glass over it to get clear pictures, but you also click on certain squares, or click on the square. It'll read as the comic should be read in order. So then you're just able to hit the arrows, and it'll actually just go to the next square for you, which I think is pretty cool, right? So you're able to just read the comic. It's a close-up version of it. I think it's actually kind of great. Makes really reading the comic on the screen quite easy as you go through it. I think that's cool. And then you're actually able to go down on the right-hand corner, in the lower right-hand corner of it. You're able to see your settings for your comic. And so you're able to see the details of the comic, like the title, what's it about, who illustrated it, who wrote it, cool things like that. And you're also able to change your settings, the pages, You can see what pages there are. You can go straight to those pages if you want. And then you're also able to change your settings. So you can actually just turn off the magnifying glass, so when you roll over, it doesn't have the magnifying glass on it. And then also you can change it to where it doesn't show the full page, or it does show the full page if you're in the square mode. When you turn onto the page or not. So you do have those options there. So that's super cool that you're able to make those changes while reading the comic. All right. All right, I hope that you enjoyed the video on how to read a comic on Hoopla. Let me know if there's any questions. Just leave a comment below. I hope that you thoroughly enjoyed it. And of course, I didn't choose a great comic, but I got some coming up for you, all right? This has been Miss Shelly with the National Public Library Bordeaux branch, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Peace out.
what's up everybody? It's Frank again, doing one last video for the Design a Comic Book Learning Path on lynda.com. Again, you can find Lynda on the library website, library.nashville.gov. There you can log on to Lynda using your library card number and your PIN. This final course, called Digital Inking and Refinement, is mostly technical instruction about setting all this up in Photoshop. So I skipped down to section 4, where it gets into the actual visual details of what you can do if, like me, you're following along using pencil and paper. And in the video initial line work, he talks about going over this rough layer that we have in pencils. He talks about choosing the right lines to go over with ink. So not committing to all of the lines that you made with pencil, but figuring out which ones you want to keep in your final page. And then he emphasizes here that you need to start out with thin lines only, because you can always thicken them up later, which brings us to the next video, line weight, where he talks about thickening up the lines that are closest to us in order to make the figures in the foreground pop out. And you can see through his example, and also in mine here, where thickening up some of the lines in the foreground really makes that space more believable. Then he talks about, in the next video, positive and negative space, using value to create space, and emphasizing the most important information in the frame, which would be usually in the foreground. So he's creating some darker values in the background to kind of have this illusion of lighting in the foreground. He then talks about halos and highlights, adding a halo or thin white line to make a subject stand out from a dark background. I do this some. I don't use as much value variation, as much gray as he does. But on the frames where I make the background black, I do a little halo like he teaches how to do. In the last video, he talks about a blur effect, which is a pretty cool effect on Photoshop to establish camera-like focus by blurring out a subject in space. However, we're not using Photoshop, so it's not very relevant to what we're doing. And then in the last section, there's a video about inking on top of a pencil rough, digital inking, where he used real pencils and then worked with the scan in Photoshop. And all of the Photoshop stuff is pretty informative and really valuable if you have access to that. So I would encourage you to watch the whole thing if you're looking to do some of this on the computer. However, just as that fourth section would be most important in doing a traditional style. And here's my finished product. I do some of the things he talks about, such as darkening up lines in the foreground, and I use some halos, and yeah, that's it.
everybody, I'm Kat, or as some of you may know me online as Little Nico, and today we're going to be trying to do a transformation on sort of a cheap wig for a character to get a little closer to the character. The character I'm going for is Joy Spires from Stranger Things. I'm a huge Stranger Things fan. I have probably seen it 4 or 5 times already. It's one of those things I can watch over and over. I have merchandise, as you can see. I have my figures. And I've had 2 Stranger Things themed parties. This is the wig in question. So I did Joy Spires in the past, and you know, it's just a real casual cosplay. It's one of those things I just threw together. And so I was never really happy with the wig I had before. So I got this one. This is closer to her season 2, season 3 hair because she gets longer hair and it's a little floofier. She has that very casual, you know, second, third day hair where it's just messy, beachy waves kind of thing. So that's what we're going for. So I'm going to go throw the wig on for you and we're going to talk about what we can tackle and take care of with this wig. I'm here! Anyway, so here's the wig. You can see we have a couple things going on. They put really little small waves, little kind of kinky kind of waves in this hair, and they almost put like what looks like a little gel in it or something. So we want to try to make the waves a little bigger, make them look a little more natural, more beachy. The bangs, you can tell the bangs are a little long. If I pull them straight down, you can see they're poking me in the eye. So they're not, usually most wigs you get, the bangs come down to here and you have to chop a whole lot off. But all I have to do is trim these up a little bit. The third thing that is going on is we got what I call dome chrome or domey egghead. You see the wig is like pointing up at the top? It drives me crazy. So we're gonna fix our dome chrome. We're going to work on these waves and we're gonna trim the bangs. So let's get to it. We got our wig stand and our foam head and our steamer. So we have our steamer nice and hot and ready to go. You could, if you don't have a big steamer like this, you could use the little portable steamer. And if it's a quality steamer, I mean, it's gonna work just as good. So what we're gonna do first is what I think is gonna be the easiest task of getting the dome chrome out of here. And so in order to do that, what you wanna do is flip your wig inside out onto your foam head. I'm doing steam because this wig isn't necessarily heat-proof wig, but steam is pretty safe to use. It will burn the snot out of you though, so don't put your hand underneath it. So all I'm doing now is I'm applying the steam to the top of the head, to the wig. It's getting a little wet from the steamer, but that's okay. So I'm going to try to get it nice and hot. Hang my steamer back up. Now see, it's a little hot to the touch, so you could get something like, I don't know, I have an old notebook here. Get the old notebook. And so you're just going to apply some pressure on top of here, you know, because you're trying to flatten out that little dome. And so now I'm just going to leave this on here for a little bit till it cools down. Now the wig is cooled down. It's not really hot anymore and it's not really wet, you know, it's kind of a little bit of dampness there, but it's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it outside right. We're going to face this toward me just so I could see what I'm doing. I'm going to feel in here for my little ear tabs. Sometimes I need to stand up to line this up. I think I got it. So I think that's looking pretty good. You know, just want to make sure that your hairs are nice and straight. You don't want to yank on this too much. We're just kind of gently combing through the little strands here, making sure there's no kinky kind of wig strands that got messed up while we steamed it. I think that worked. I think that looks a lot flatter than it did before. And if it doesn't come out the way you like it and you still think it's kind of bumped up, just do it again. Or, like I said, if you have the steamer, you probably could steam it like this too. You know, and once again apply some pressure on there, but I think it's looking much better. So I think we'll move on to step 2. But I popped the wig back on And it's very important to measure this when it's on your own head because the foam heads don't match your head size. So you really do have to put this on and measure. And what I did, a little experiment, I took some Scotch tape, I put the wig on and then laid this over just so I can see where I needed to cut, kind of right where my eyebrows are at. So, I don't know, this was a little experiment. You can do this, or if you want, you can take like these alligator clips. They're fantastic. You should own them if you're doing wig stuff anyway. And, you know, while you're wearing the wig, you can kind of do that and then clip it in place. So, the first thing you have to do before you start cutting is pin down your wig so it doesn't shift and bump and move. And what you can do is feel for your ear tabs. Make sure your wig is nice and straight, obviously, so your bangs don't get cut crooked. So I did sit here and I felt for the ear tabs, and I kind of had to guesstimate that it was straight. So right now I'm just putting some pins in my ear tabs. And then I'm gonna take some and put them up here too. Like not where I'm cutting or not where I'm combing, but like right behind that. If you got a heavy wig or something crazy that's shifting, you can put some in the back. But for now, I'm gonna put 2 in the top and 2 in the side. And what I did as well when I checked this line, I took my little ruler and I just measured about how far down. And honestly, it's about 1 inch that I need to cut off. So now I can take the tape off because I kind of have a visual of where I need to cut. See, it came right off, no problem. I'm going to take my fine tooth comb. I'm going to make sure that I got everything down where I want it. Also make sure you have some sharp shears. You got to have sharp shears or you'll be fighting yourself. Have a nice fine tooth comb with you as well. So as you can see, I have taken my little fine tooth comb and I've gone right around here and just took up the topmost layer of the bangs, and I got them nice and neat in my hands. And I'm going to take some of these alligator clips. Like I said, these clips are amazing. They come in handy so well when you're doing wigs or your own hair. And they don't damage the wig or like cause dents or anything like that. And then see, look, hands free now. Okay, I had about 1 inch to cut off. And it's good, so you want to start with this under layer. And in some techniques, you can cut the under layer a little shorter than you do the layer on top. I think I'll try to keep these about the same. So the technique I'm going to use is called like a point cut or a parallel cut. You're kind of pointing the scissors up into the hair. And then what we're going to do is you're just kind of like now, of course, this is doing a cut like this where you're angling it a tiny bit. This haircut is not perfectly straight across, so. But this gives it a more natural appearance and not just a real straight across kind of feel. Yes, using the comb underneath like this works a lot better. And it helps straighten everything back out again. I'm going to kind of leave that where it's at. I mean, you don't have to do it all in one shot. You can kind of take your time. And I mean, you know, once it's chopped off, it's chopped off. So just kind of take your time. If you're not sure, you can stop, put the wig back on, and see how it looks and go from there. I'm going to now take down our layer, our top layer here. So the good thing is you start with this under layer. If you mess up, well, then you have a little bit of forgiveness because you're going to put this top layer back down. It's going to cover some of it up. I'm going to get rid of some of this real long stuff. It's driving me crazy. Again, I'm not blunt cutting. I'm kind of moving the scissors up and down a little bit. That's another method. You can do this. And it leaves you can cut downward like that. So I took some length off of here, off of the bangs, and like I said, I tried to do parallel cut here. And I think it looks pretty good. We'll probably have to put it back on to really see like where this fell and did I meet my goal of hitting right above my eyebrow there. And then I'll probably take a little bit of hairspray or a little bit of gel and just a tiny bit to kind of like make a little bit of pieces here so it's not so frizzy. Get some styling product in there. And then our next stop is going to be trying to work with these curls. And that is going to be our last thing that we do.